It's Sunday afternoon and I have set the hammock up outside. It is a very gorgeous day. I have 1,000 things to do today, but I don't want to do any of them. So I'm going to be going back and forth into the house from the hammock to get chores done and whatever else. I actually even need to do my taxes today. So it's just a day I'm not looking forward to, but I am really loving reading the Bone Ships. I haven't done any updates this week because I haven't been feeling well, but I am 200 pages into the Bone Ships. And it's been a very fascinating reading week for me. When this book first came out in 2019, I pre-ordered this because it was a fantasy set on the high seas. There were pirates and dragons, and everything about this sounded like it was an absolutely perfect fit for me. But when it came in and I started reading it, I made it quite a bit of the way into this, and it just wasn't working for me. And when I started reading it this week, it took a few false starts for me to get hooked on the writing. And I know that that was probably part of my problem the first time. I do remember some of the events and wondering why it was happening and why people were going along with it. And I found an update that I posted on Goodreads when I was at 80 pages. And I said, I don't even know what's happening in this. This is not for me. And reading it this week, I think that I've become a different reader. I think back then I did need to know, what is the plot? Why are we here? What is happening? Why are these characters willing to be acting this way? And I think having 5 or 6 more years of fantasy books under my belt and reading books like the Stormlight Archive, where you're thrown into a world and you don't know what the plot is, but you just go along with it and enjoy the writing and enjoy getting to know the characters. So I feel like my reading tastes have changed since the first time I read this. And it's actually kind of exciting because I only made it halfway through Gardens of the Moon. And I feel like if I can tackle this book in the way that I'm tackling it this week, and I know that this isn't as dense and as steep as Stephen Erickson and Malazan, but it makes me feel like I'm making progress towards tackling books like Malazan that didn't work for me in the past. And I find that extremely fascinating because this book really is a great fit for me. And there are so many things that I am absolutely loving. And this will probably wind up being a 5-star. Whereas the first time I read it, I DNF'd it and really didn't think it was a fit for me. The reason that I held on to it was the reviews. And a friend of mine, Tammy, who reads a lot of the same books that I do, said that the second half was much better than the first. And it gave me a little bit of FOMO, like, what was I missing out on in the second half? And so I've held on to it. And I'm so glad I pulled this out of the TBR jar last month because I'm just having a completely different experience than I had with it the first time, which again is just fascinating. And it makes me think, what other books would we enjoy if we gave ourselves time and we grew in different ways as a reader, because our tastes do change and our experiences with the books that we have read in the past change. And anyway, my point is I'm having a really good time. And I guess I should say what the Bone Ships is about. In the Bone Ships, the ships are made from the bones of sea dragons. And it's been so long in this world since anybody has seen sea dragons that they've basically become myth. And our main characters are on a death boat. Criminals that are essentially sentenced to death are sent to be crew members on this ship, which is the Tide Child. This is the first book in the Tide Child trilogy. And when the book starts, we are following a main character who really just lets his crew get drunk all day. They don't take care of the ship. They don't work. And this woman comes along and she says, I'm your captain now. And she takes over and she is making this crew into a crew and making this ship into a ship. And not only is it a fantasy set on the high seas, it is a darker slant, which is how I enjoy my books. And I'm really enjoying these characters, and I'm actually enjoying this slow build of learning what this world is about, learning the lore in this world and the histories and the characters and the loyalties and so many things I'm just really enjoying about this. So I'm going to spend my Sunday hopefully as much as I can here in the hammock, and I will update you when I have something more to say. I'm back. It's still windy out here. It feels so good though. I did a load of laundry and half of our taxes, and I got out and got us all some pizza, came back and watched half of a book haul on BookTube while I ate my pizza. And now I'm going to get back in the hammock, and I'm probably just going to read until the baseball game comes on, and then I'll try to read while I watch baseball and we'll see. But for now, I'm just going to sit back in the hammock and enjoy my Sunday. I love how much of this book is turning out to be found family. Like, I really love these characters, and this book is making me so happy right now.
Hearts at peace tonight. Everything's just right. Letting go of time in this sweet sunshine. Swinging to and fro. Time moving slow. In this hammock I know I'll find my glow.
It's been a while since I've vlogged in the car for lunch. I am still reading The Bone Ships. I am about 375 pages in, so I only have this much to go. And I am still really loving this. I'm learning a lot about me as a fantasy reader. I'm really enjoying the world building in this. I think that I usually attribute flora and fauna and those kind of things to world building of science fiction. And I'm realizing now the books that I have read in the past that were fantasy that did have this type of world building. There's a lot of creatures in here, of course, like the sea dragons, but there's also creatures on the sea and on the land. And I just really love that in the books that I read. And there's so many things in this book that I'm so glad that I picked it back up, that I wouldn't have experienced this story if I had just stayed with DNFing it 5 or 6 years ago when I tried to read it the first time. So I'm really looking forward to the end of this. I'm wondering if we'll have any kind of conclusion. This is the first book in a trilogy, and I'm just really enjoying it. And I'm going to read this for my lunch, and I will let you know. I'll probably not be back until it's the end of the book, but I'm excited to see where this is going to go at the end. I'll talk to you soon.
Hearts at peace tonight. Everything's just right. Letting go of time in this sweet sunshine. Swinging to and fro.
finished reading The Bone Ships, and I'm so thrilled that this has gone from being a DNF to being a 5-star read. I honestly thought that I would read this and it would wind up being like validation or confirmation that I was right to quit it the first time, or that it wasn't going to be a 5-star read. I was absolutely not expecting the read that I got. And I know I talked about the world building. The character arcs are wonderful. I do love the crew and the found family. As a woman who reads fantasy, there are so many things that I appreciate in this book. The portrayal of women, but also the language that is used in the writing, and there's just so much to love. If I were to knock off anything, it would just be that it's the first third of a trilogy, but that's usually how series books go. But I'm really loving this, and I will definitely carry on through the rest of the trilogy. This world is so immersive, and I know that I'm going to be itching to just get back into this world. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the vlog here. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. Be sure to leave me a comment and like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.